Another first of the day wreck.
It's not the best, but
It's
With a good
alright.
shot?
yeah,
It's
it's good for a warm-up
Yeah,
run.
it's like Soats is so wreckable. Oh! Zero healer!
How good are we?
Oh shit!
Well, what do we need here?
Sub 3.
Sub 3.
South Nutella wreck!
No!
No!
No.
Oh my god! Oh, it's still
No.
worse wreck.
Oh, Yuki! Hello? Hello? What? Oh, bro. That's so tragic.
Good morning. Okay, so I have good news and I have bad news. The good news is that we did it. The bad news is that we did it. Now what? Well, let's get into the run and we'll talk about what's next later. Actually, I'm just gonna admire this board for a second. Like, what is this? Okay, let's watch it. The start of Maiden is pretty unassuming. We're just chatting about an hour and a half into the sesh, and we'd already gotten a really good run earlier, with second place overall time and Versic room wreck on the first run of the day. After spec, she's 0 defense and the South Mage still has ZCB for 30s. However, the 70s push was rather hard to read as North maxes their bow while South hits small on a 7% proc threshold. Usually we make the same decision whether to switch or bow, but because it was so close, only one of us ends up switching and we leak North too. Not all is lost, but we're definitely not getting a God Maiden now. Although maybe we can save it with a fast skip to be within our runnable threshold. The last few sessions had been pretty dry because we developed some bad habits that we had to work on improving, so instead of running thresholds, we've mostly been running well-played full runs without a care for the actual time. This sesh was going to be no different, or so we thought. Our intentions were to simply use our 5 Mage Cape swaps of the day and VOD review the problems we'd been encountering. However, that doesn't mean we can't be on pace. If a run is good, the run is good. Yeah, quote that quick. Right, so Maiden is 115, which was exactly our newly decided runnable threshold after getting the 1215. It's not actually ideal, since we do quite often get 112 or even 109s regularly, but as I was saying, we loosened up the thresholds to get more full runs for practice and reviewing purposes. Heading into Bloat Day, insta-zero him and both get to save their second spec for clawing. That's always a good thing, not exactly necessary, but good nonetheless. We get early hands, which proc when Bloat goes under 90%, and even though it's an early down, the damage is already looking really good. This is a 1 down for sure. We usually wait until the third hit before claw specking, because Bloat does regen defense, and claws are more accurate on defense than scythe is. Min-max, you know? Our damage actually falls off towards the end. This could have easily been a 42-second Bloat if we hit bigger claw specs. Nevertheless, it's a 1 down, and we consider 2 flat our Bloat threshold, so we're still just within runnable pace. The Precap went horrendous because both ToB and I were getting really bad RNG on our hits. Thankfully, we played it safe, which was one of the things we actually needed to work on since taking on James and having ToB roll swap. Good work. Yeah, and the thing is, right, in the 5s you shouldn't really ever have to stall Precap. However, you do also want to clean up to not transfer big splits late into the post-cap, so ideally you push for killing bigs as early as possible. There's a fine balance between playing good and griefing the raid, and recognizing whether you can or cannot play aggressive makes all the difference. The main perpetrator for ruining Precap is usually the ranger, or whoever feels the need to kill the wave 18 big rangers too early when it's not really clean enough to do so. So if you're ever stalling wave 19, you know who to look at first. It's become a bit of a meme, but it usually really is the ranger. You'll see what happens shortly. I almost don't hit anything between waves 16 and 20, which is a really key moment during the precap in order to pull bigs correctly as to not stall by accident. Simultaneously, ToB was stuck hitting the same smalls like 3 or 4 times each. Because the wave 17 big mages died so late inside the room, the ranger holds off on killing his wave 18 bigs prematurely to force those splits to spawn after cap increase. It's not like super impressive, but it's just well done and no mistakes were made, which is what we like to see. And this could have easily been an octo-stall precap if we hadn't paid attention. I kind of feel like a broken record saying this, but as soon as you make it to post-cap in 5s, as long as you kill all bigs, the room should sort of reset itself. However bad your precap was, the post-cap can yet be saved, and if you didn't stall, it might very well turn into a really good Nilo still. Well, that's exactly what happened. During the late waves, almost all of our pre-fires one-shot and none of the bigs even make it into the room. That is really good for the cleanup, as it gives the splits a lot of time to wander and form barrage or chin stacks. The very last mage big on the east side is actually the only one who dies a bit late, and this costs us the 248 boss spawn, but with everyone done we kill the splits quickly and still get a 250. What I always think is fun to point out is this synergy me and the east mage have. I know to only hit stuff on his pillar when he's occupied with certain pre-fires or lane spawns, and we have a system that prevents us from doubling up as much as we can. I usually don't touch his northeast pillar, for example, but I might when I know he's busy with a big. For example, that barrage on his northeast pillar was really high value to prevent late wave stalls, even though I'm not technically allowed to go there. Anyway, we get to the boss and my spec plugin bugs out and doesn't show me how much the BGS hit. I wasn't paying attention to my XP drop because I assumed the plugin would tell me, so I spec again to make sure. Looking back, I could have actually claw spec because he was already at 0 defense, gaining me both the damage from the claw spec and 2 extra ticks, which I could have used with a dart during the range phase. I'm not gonna say that it made a difference, but it definitely made a difference. Other than that, the Nilo boss was played perfectly by everyone with no tick loss and good gear switches. Nilo boss was another point of improvement, so I'm happy with this result. And look at that, yeah, it would have made a difference. Alright, that's still a really acceptable Nilo time. We changed the threshold from 535 to low 530 into SOD, so 528 puts us well ahead of schedule. I'm just gonna let the SOD speak for itself. It's a pretty intense room and I think the comms are fun to hear.
Miss.
Yeah.
Okay.
Insta. I'm chosen.
Head.
Hit.
And Joe?
Empty. Diddy.
Precap. I'm chosen again. Can't heal.
Head.
Hit.
Good.
Claw.
This is good.
This is a wreck. Kill it here.
Kill him?
Oh!
Oh,
Yeah! That's
Oh.
wreck!
right.
Oh!
That's
Nice.
tied wreck!
It's tight,
It's
yeah,
tight.
it's
It's
tight.
tied. Oh, look at
Yes,
the entry!
look at
His
Look at the
entry.
entry!
Oh yes, runnable pace into a tied room wreck. Now that's juicy.
Yeah, if I swear to God, if I see one hammer, like every other pace run we've had, I'm gonna say it.
Wait, we get a correct entry and then everyone talking about how we're gonna
Next
get a
zero.
220 zarb. Okay, let's focus.
Right, so at this point we're pretty hyped, but Zarpas has been such a buzzkill for the past literal months. We've somehow just not been able to get a sub 210 Zarp, even with good heals, insta 0 defense, and ZCB specs. Meanwhile, Zarpa's room wreck gets tied during a money CA boost with someone 4-ticking in bandos. I don't know what to say, we're just cursed or something. Or are we? Well, this P1 isn't perfect. There were a couple of mistakes, but it
Somebody
really
got
shouldn't
that.
make a huge difference. With bad heals, that should only cost you 1 cycle at worst, because 5 scythes just swing a lot of damage, more than it might possibly heal during P1. So, assuming good specs, we're expecting a 204 or a 207, but what we're really expecting is another 218 for some unknown reason. I'm Shadowban, that we can't make sense of, other than Shadowban. I guess it makes sense for Jagex to nerf us after we made a fool of their Twitter enthusiasts. Top teams are still shaking, by the way.
Okay.
So good to be true.
This is too good to be true. We're swinging too.
I actually just DC'd for a second.
Marcus?
We're swinging.
The only room I actually kind of regret not having bothered with any combat achievements is Zarpa's. I haven't even got 1.5 minute thrones, so I actually need to resummon towards the end of Zarp to have full uptime. It's not a big deal, so I don't think I'm gonna bother just for that, but I might if it starts bugging me enough.
Wait, this is good.
After the screech, I yellow-clicked to dodge his stare a fraction of a second too late, and I almost side myself out because my character didn't move where I thought it would. If I died here, this would have been extremely bad, and they would have absolutely never let me hear the end of it.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
There is
my
no
fucking
shot
God. What is
we
this?
got you.
8
Holy
56.
shit. Holy
There is
fuck,
no shot
this
we
is
got
insane.
at 204.
It's
It's
3.
entry though, man.
This entry, dude.
I'm a scythe myself out. I don't know, I really do.
I did see that.
Yeah.
What do we need? Like 1-3-3-18?
If we get the same Versic, we have what we want.
Oh yeah.
Low 12OX. Pentix. P1 Versic has been another point of attention lately because the Vortex staff transfers we're doing weren't going as smooth as required. By the time we get to Versic, everything needs to be perfect, always.
Vortic.
So we consider even small inconsistencies as a big problem. The two main things we don't want are Dawn auto attacks instead of specs, and claw specs by messing up the Dawn equip. Now, I didn't catch this when it happened, but Dawn auto attacks have a yellow color, while specs are grey. If you take a close look after the second drop, you might notice a funny color. Anyway, usually when something goes wrong, I have to also spec, but thankfully our specs were so good that I still didn't have to spec. It probably cost us 4 ticks total from the missing spec, but it wasn't actually the end of the world.
Get ready to ring.
Crabs go smoothly, and at this point everyone is hyper-focused. This is crazy good pace, and earlier this day we copped Versic Wreck, so I was really feeling it. What we really want now is a 1-down reds. Can we get it? Only one way to find out. Even if it isn't though, all we need is a 318. This can still be wreck, even without a 1-down. We need a swing.
Yeah. Damage is alright.
Coming back, yeah.
Careful, one more hit.
We have a little trick to prevent our thralls from healing the boss during our healing phase. If you resummon, it will de-aggro until you attack something, so this way we maximize our odds by minimizing our healing. I might want to do it again for the second reds, so I have to immediately spellbook swap to set that up. After that, I resummon once more during P3 to make sure it lasts throughout the whole thing. I guess if I had 1.5 minute thralls, I wouldn't have to do that. Nah, still not worth.
No.
It's alright.
Nice.
It wasn't quite a 1-down, but that was still a good P2. This is the final stretch. It's almost certainly a wreck if nothing goes wrong. All we have to do now is play good and find out how much we wreck by.
Humble.
Nice. You ready for last venge? Now take a good look at the third orb.
We're good.
It hit a 0.
0
We're good.
venge. I was clenched.
Fucking got it wrong. Holy shit.
We're good.
Think big.
Charlie.
Kelly here?
No. Kill it here.
Okay!
That's insane.
Look at
That's
it!
insane.
Look at it!
Oh
my
When I hear a funny
Bro.
thing.
I know you autoed. You autoed.
Yeah.
What
Oh my
a-
god.
Like
Jesus
last bench.
fucking
Third
Christ.
last
by
bench,
so
and I thought you were like
Oh
auto
God.
ahead or
God.
something.
Almost 10 seconds. This board is pretty cracked. Look at this.
Look at that board.
Let's fucking go!
Let's go, bro.
man.
Let's fucking go!
It's good. It's unbeatable. Like, we could keep potting for it, but we're never realistically beating this. You know what I mean? Like, maybe if we pot every day for like months, we'll get another chance to beat it. But this is really, really good. We had 2 near room wrecks. Only Maiden was not that good, but was within our threshold still. You know what I mean? It's too good to reset for. This is not beatable. So now what? Well, first we spent like 25 minutes inside the throne room. Just didn't want to leave the board, you know what I mean? But I don't know, we just kept potting, and we actually went for some Nilo room wrecks, which are still very beatable with proper gear. Obviously our gear wasn't really equipped to compete for the Nilo room wreck with like darts and shit, so that's still on the menu. We also have hard mode 5s that we want to get. We want to get the force wreck, and I guess after that, I don't know, we'll see. Maybe we will just pot some more 5s, because they are really a lot of fun, and I'm kind of sad that it's over. But it's over. Well, that's it for today's video. I hope you liked it. I'm gonna make like a recap of some of the funny moments of this session, because it was an insane sesh. But I just want to keep this video sort of clean, just a wreck, and let it sort of be the season finale. I will make another episode on this session, and I will also make an episode on the trio overall time. And I'll also obviously be making videos of hard mode 5s if we ever end up doing that or getting it, or the 4s if we end up beating it. But this is kind of the goal of the season, right? That's what episode 0 was for. And I dropped something. But yeah, so that's it. You know? That's it. Thanks for watching.